Why not? It's 8:32 and I can't stay awake forever. I'll live on the West Coast and I'll do these calls. It'll be like 5 p.m. and I'll be all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for you all. Okay. I want you guys to think of this though as like sort of an open and interactive thing. If you have questions, throw them out there. I do find it hard sometimes to read and talk. So, you can put the questions in. I'll make sure to go through at the end, but I am going to kind of mute everyone as you hop on. There we go. And welcome to the Successfit team call. It's so nice to see some of you for the first time on, which is really, really great. And always great to see the familiar faces who I appreciate the showing up. As I said, I'm going to talk about this getting interest, but no one is joining. And I spent a lot of time, or as much as time as I could, really thinking about this. And how to maybe take a different way or a different approach of sharing about it tonight and helping. And as always, I will try to send you guys away with a couple of kind of calls to action, things that you can specifically implement and hopefully improve upon. But with this topic and with the whole idea of coaching, I kind of liked the idea of, and I always love analogies, but I like the idea of picturing what we're doing as coaching like a puzzle. And if you've ever done a puzzle before, the first thing we kind of do, your strategy really is to like build the outline of the puzzle. And so there are several pieces and lots of different things that we have going on, but I kind of think our puzzle is divided into these two areas. The outline, which is what we must do, like the actual tasks that we must do. And then, of course, the inside and the colorful part, which is what brings the picture together. And for me, that's who you must be. So starting with what you must do in order to be successful as a coach. And as I said, bear with me because it is all going to tie in terms of getting interest, but no one's joining. What you must do is like your power of threes. If you imagine like a timeline, and along that timeline, or not a timeline, like a line or a checklist of the things you have to do. This line that you have to do and it has to be like a puzzle. It has to be cohesive. You can't just do one little piece of this. It all ties in together. And for those of you who hit success consistently, I know you know what I'm talking about. Part of our power of threes is we have to post 2 to 3 times a day. You have to, because if you don't have anyone to talk to. You're not putting yourself out there. You're not building a brand. You have to add to your network and meet new people and get out into the world of people. Because if you don't, you're going to run out of people to talk to. You have to contact the people that are liking and commenting on your posts. These are things that we have to do, and we have to do them every single day because it's the aspect of us showing up and being there every day that makes us trustworthy and helps us build trust and helps people look at us and think, oh, you're someone to turn to. We have to send out reconnection messages every day because this is a people business, This is about caring about people. So I hope you like people because that's what this is about. If you don't like people, that's probably a problem. This is really about helping people. You need to get interested in other people's lives, in what they're doing and what they're struggling with. You have to send out those connection messages. And of course, you have to do calls to action, right? We have to invite people that way out into our challenge groups and into what we're doing. If we don't do a call to action, there's never a platform for people to say, you know what, I am interested in what you're doing. We're never putting that out there. Even though some people will start to come to you because they're thinking of you, they're not going to be able, like when we do a call to action, it gives that platform. And then, of course, we repeat it all. So that's sort of the things that I look at we have to do. And along those things that we have to do, of course, we need to show up for team calls and we need to listen to the National Wake Up Call. Those are like tasks that I kind of look at as the bare bones of our business and what we have to do in order to be successful. And if you, I kind of look at it like, this is our commitment. If you can look at me right now or look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I truly doing these things? Am I truly doing these things at least 5 days a week consistently? Have I truly done the activities in the internship, for example? That's another thing, whether it's the internship or the push to diamond or the push to emerald. Have you actually gone in and done those activities? Because those are the training pieces, right? That's what teaches you the skill. Because if you have the commitment there, if you can look yourself in the face and say, every day I do this, and it's been months, every day, and I'm not being successful, then it's very easy for me to say to you, okay, it's a skill issue, right? What's happening here along this outline of what we're trying to build in our puzzle, the things that we have to do, it's skill. And where is that skill? So when I hear people say like, okay, I'm getting interest, but no one's joining, I like to start with that commitment piece. Like, are you truly committed in those things that we must do every day? Because if you don't do them every day, it becomes very hard for people to believe in you as someone that they want to follow. And it's also hard for the whole idea of social media to work in your favor, right? Because that's how social media works with affinity. You're there, your people are seeing you, and then they're liking your stuff and you're connecting with them. So social media puts your stuff out there more and more and more. You want to work with social media that way. So let's say, yes, you're really doing all of those things. And then it is a skill. And here's what I want you to consider working on. Because when people say to me, like, I'm getting interest, to me that says you're obviously posting, you're adding, and you're connecting because you're generating interest. People are seeing what you're doing and they're interested in that. But the next step is you're starting to talk to them. You've put out this call to action, and something is getting lost in this translation of, I'm inviting you, and you're either going MIA on me, or you're saying, like, I'm not interested, or not right now, that kind of concept. So if it's a skill, here's what I want you to do. Here's where I want you to start with, is to go back to your conversation with your sponsor. What did they say to you? Where were you in your life? And what did that person say to you that made you want to say, yeah, I am ready to join a challenge group, or yeah, I am ready to join as a coach. Go back to that conversation and take some time to look at this. So, because this is a very entrepreneurial role. So as much as I want to be here I'm going to give you all the content I have, I think it's really important that we become that researcher, right? And we go out and we dig into ourselves a little bit and understand what was that in that conversation that got me going. And then also Google other coaches, make sure that you're out there and you're trying to learn in the online office, reading through the invitation process, making sure you've at least done the groundwork of the research. What is the information I need to know in order to work on this skill? Because, and I just saw Erica kind of pop that up, so you need to uncover their need. The other sort of call to action that I want, or the other piece of this that I think is really important that you master in conversing with people, one is called forming. And it means, it's going back to that piece of really enjoying people. Forming is family, occupation, recreation, and message. And it's about asking people about those things in your life, understanding where they are in their life and what's going on, so that when you are talking to them, when you do explain more about what we do, you can relate it to them in their life and how that works. And that's part of uncovering their need. It's also called the step 2 of the invitation process. So if you go in the online office and you're looking at that training, or you'll notice we do talk about it a bit in the internship, I will not, and especially as a new coach, I remember that I would blow it all the time. I get very excited and I just regurgitate information on people, or I get nervous and I'm so worried about what I'm going to say that I'm not listening to what this person is saying to me. They have a story that I need to understand. And before I can ever say, you should do this program, and I know it will work for you, and here's why, I actually have to know that it will work for them, and here's why. I need to make sure I've taken the time. And the 2 questions I always like to make sure I am super crystal clear on from people, and I will ask questions and ask questions and ask questions again, and that's the step 2 of the invitation process, are, what exactly are you trying to accomplish? Like, what do you want to be doing here? Like, in your body, in your life, like, what are you trying to accomplish? And it's not just like, oh, I want to lose 5 pounds. Well, everybody wants to lose 5 pounds. Like, that's not what you want to dig deeper than that. You need to understand from this person, what is it that they need to see change in their life so that they are happy? They need to be happier, or whatever that might be. And then I get really, really clear on, why aren't they there themselves? Obviously, someone's coming to you because they're interested in what you're doing, because they're having a struggle somewhere in their own journey, right? And they want something different. What they're doing isn't working. So you just need to understand those two pieces, right? You need to understand what they want and why what they want isn't happening without you, so that you can explain to them why it's going to work for them. So those are the pieces that I want you guys to take some time with, I think, in terms of what you must do, what we're doing when we're building like the outline of our puzzle. And that, again, I'll just repeat that. It's one, making sure that you are truly committed to doing the things that we must do every day. I'll tell you, like, that is how I have built my business, on every day. And when I look at all the other top coaches, even though some move really fast and some move slower, it's every day that you don't, like, that is the one thing that people don't miss. And there's a reason, I think, that they get so successful, because they also were successful challengers because they did their program every single day. So it's that consistency piece and that commitment and rigor to your process of consistency that's so critical in this. But when it comes to the skill, make sure that you are taking initiative as an entrepreneur to understand what skill it is you need to work on, and diving into that, maybe through personal development, or looking at the training that's available to you, or just reaching specifically to your upline sponsor coach and being like, I'm just stuck. I keep getting this same response from people where like nobody is ever saying yes, and so then they can work with you on that skill. That's the whole focus of that. But as I said, that what I do to work on that skill and to improve on that is make sure that I'm really taking the time to listen to these people, to understand their struggle, and to share with them why I know without a doubt in my heart that it will work for them because it worked for me and I had those same struggles, that kind of thing. Okay, so that's one piece. That's sort of the outline of our puzzle that I imagine us having. Now, the second part, like I think filling in this puzzle of helping people, right, is about who you must become. And that's where these vital behaviors come in. The first vital behavior we talk about is being a product of the product. And I think that this is, again, where I want to consider that commitment piece. Are you really being a product of the product? And not just are you, doing your workout and mostly drinking Shakeology, but like, are you starting a program from start to finish so that you have a transformation to share with people? It doesn't have to be physical, although there should be some level of physical transformation if you did do a program like that. But if you're doing programs every single month from start to finish, or every 2 months from start to finish, right? Because most of our programs now are like 30 days or 60 days. Then you should have a transformation to share every single month of how that specific program worked for you. And this is something that I know I need to continue to work on, because I can get like program ADD where I'm really excited about this one and then this one's coming out and I'm really excited about that one. And it's like, oh, well, there's this yoga retreat. We have to make sure we have passion and focus about the one thing that we're doing. So part of what you need to become is someone who lives this healthy lifestyle. We have to be passionate about that. You can't drink Shakeology just a few days a week. You need to drink it every day and believe in it and understand it and know why it is doing for your body the good things that it does. And the second vital is personal development. And for me, like, the reason this is such a critical piece in who you become is this is what helps us grow as people. In the beginning, as a new coach, this is what helped me stay committed. Listening to the National Wake Up Call, showing up for the team calls, this piece is what helps you stay committed to what you're doing. And then as you learn that you have weaknesses in your skills, because everybody does, this is the piece you can turn to help improve yourself. That's what entrepreneurs do. They're like, what do I need to get better at? Here's a book, I'm going to read it, or here's an audiobook, I'm going to listen to it, and I'm going to improve on that skill by listening to this book. Recognition, we need to make sure that we are, of course, recognizing the challengers that we do have. Recognize your success partner. Recognize, the other coaches in your life if you don't know what else. But above all else, recognize what you're doing as a very positive thing. Which brings me to the fourth vital behavior, which is connecting and sharing. And I think that this is where a lot of people are struggling in this I'm getting a lot of interest, but I'm not nobody's finalizing here with me. What happens when we start out as coaches is we start to get a lot of no's, right? We get a lot of no's from people, and that can be really hard on our confidence. It can be very discouraging for us. And instead of feeling stronger in our message, we start to feel like, well, nobody wants to do it, so I must not be valuable. I don't know why we do this, and I do it too, but it's something that is like needs to change, I think, in people. When I hear like Gary Vaynerchuk talk, he's like, I love the way he talks about how we need to develop a mindset that's not like, oh, you say no, and so I must be doing something wrong. It's like, oh, you say no, I'm just going to work harder. You know, it's developing a mindset where you're understanding that no is not a negative thing, that it is in fact a challenge for you to keep going. And I get that that's a really hard thing, but I think my piece that I want you guys to take away from this idea of developing a no mindset is that everyone, this is a great analogy I heard recently, and I'm going to show you the big giant clock behind me, because this, I thought about this clock when someone was saying this analogy, but everyone in this world, you have to imagine, every single person you run into has, if you imagine that they're like a clock, and somewhere on that clock is the perfect time for them, when their timing is right, when their need is right, when they need you and they're ready for you. Because we all have that time. You just have to be there when they are ready. So when someone says no to you, instead of taking that personally, you got to get into this mindset of like, that's okay, I'll be here when you're ready, you know, like not right, that what you really mean is not right now, and that's okay. There's so much shame around weight loss and fitness and diets and fat, you know, like there's so much shame and unhappy feelings around there. We don't need to take that on ourselves, and we certainly don't need to put that on the other people that we're trying to help. You just need to let them know that you are going to be there, and then you need to be there when they're ready at their 12 o'clock, if you imagine that that's their time slot. So I think a takeaway I want to give to you, or a call to action I want to give to you around this idea of no's, and how we need to change our own mindset from feeling like all these no's mean I'm not good enough, and mean I'm not capable, and mean what I have here is not enough, and change it into more like, you're just not ready for me, and that's okay. There are two pieces. One, there's this amazing document called Go for No, or 100 No's. I'm going to post it in Successfit after this. And it helped me a lot when I was going through these same struggles. And instead of, I started also tracking, instead of just tracking like who I'm inviting, I kind of tracked their answers too, right? And I didn't worry about it. And I didn't worry because really, this is about numbers, especially when you're developing your skill. Like, you need to really get into a conversation with at least 10 people to expect a yes, I think, as a new coach. And that's the hard part, right? Because you need to talk to a lot of people. You feel like you've talked to a lot of people, but really it's only like 7 of your best friends. But you need to talk to like 100 people and get 100 no's before you can tell me you're discouraged. That's the mindset I want you to get into, and understand that that's the game you want to play with yourself. Like, tell me no, go ahead, tell me no, and then you'll be surprised if you get that yes. But the other part of that I think is even deeper, I think why we struggle so much with feeling like, oh, I'm not good enough, is that we haven't taken the time to be so confident and so sure and so excited about what we're doing here. And that, I think, is what I start to get chills about when I show up on national wake up calls, and I show up in the team calls, and I get more engrossed in my own challenge groups and seeing the lives change. It reminds me that my story and your story and all the stories and what we're doing here is so huge. It really and truly is making ripples and waves in what we're doing. This is not about selling challenge packs. This is actually changing lives here. And I know that a lot of you guys will have received messages from people already that are like, thank you. Like, thank you so much for inspiring me. Thank you for not giving up, for still inviting me, because I finally feel this way in my body, and I've never felt this way, or I've always wanted to feel this way, or it's been so long since I've felt this way. what we're doing here is very real, and you need to take ownership over the fact that it's a responsibility, but that this is a very special thing we have. And I want you to take it and take the time to honor it by understanding what your story is and how powerful that is to share with other people. That's what we're doing here, is taking our story, which we know, right? Because we've been a product of the product. I have seen what being committed to a challenge group does for me and other people now. But even in the beginning, I'd only seen what it had done for me. And that was enough for me to say, yeah, I want to coach. Yeah, I want to do this, because I can see how committing and having someone care about what I'm doing and following this great program and like fueling myself with this great nutrition can actually get me results that I never had before and changes my life. Like when I think about where I was to where I am now, joining a challenge group was seriously, not just joining a challenge group, getting my results is what I should say, was the catalyst and what gave me the confidence to be where I am today, which has changed my life. And that is what we're doing for people right now. We all know that even if people don't want to become coaches, even if that's not what they want, we all know the confidence that comes with even just eating clean and working out for a week. It changes your mindset, right? And then you fuel it with some really awesome personal development, and people can make waves in their own life in just a few days. I know I have a better sense of humor, and I'm a kinder mom when I'm on point in terms of fueling my body and my mind in a good way. So that was a long ramble, but I wanted you to take it in the way that I take it seriously, in the way that I do. If you aren't rooted in what you're doing and in the belief of what you have, like of what this has done for you, then it's time for you to do that. And you can do that by, one, going back to being really like clear about a start and finish of a program, fueling with personal development, and then sitting down and getting clear on your story. Ask yourself these questions. Where was I before I found my coach or my challenge or Beachbody, whatever you want to call it? Where was I? What was going on in my life? Who was I and what was my mindset? And then what made me decide to do it? And then what happened and how did I feel after? That's your story, right? And that's what you can share with people when you're talking with them. That's what you should be leading with people. And you should be leading with a bold message that you are not ashamed of, that you're so excited to share with people when they're ready, and if they're not ready right now, that's okay. But I don't ever want to bowl people over, but at the same time, I want them to know how really and truly this changed my life. And therefore, I know that this will change their life. I know, because it's not it's not one of these things that's like finicky and like maybe for this person, maybe not for that person. No, there's a program here for anyone. There's a nutrition plan here for any diet. And if you come in, I will support you. So I know that this can work literally for anyone. And having that confidence and passion, I think, is such a critical part of what we do. So take that time, and that's my takeaway, is like take that time to master your story and then go for no. Like just dare someone to say no to you. And if they're saying no, they're not ever saying no. They're really just saying not right now. It's amazing to me. And I don't think Michelle Ayers can be on tonight, but like I invited her to join me 3 years ago, and then she really just recently joined. Like I have lots of people that happens for. And if I wasn't here, then they wouldn't be joining me still, right? They'd be doing something else, and maybe it wouldn't work for them. But that's where I want you to get rooted. And I think the other piece in that, besides understanding the value of this in your life and therefore what it is in others, is that in spite of all these skills and all these commitments and things that I think I can help teach you, and that these other coaches on our team can help teach you, and that you can learn from other coaches, what we can't teach you, and what I certainly can't teach you, is tenacity, which is your ability to push for a goal. It's your ability to come back to that puzzle no matter how frustrated you are, because you're determined to finish that puzzle. That's what tenacity is. I can't teach that to you. You have to decide you're going to do that for yourself. I can't teach you vision. I can't give you really the picture of the puzzle. I can tell you what my puzzle looks like and how it's changed my life. But if you don't have vision, it makes your puzzle so much more challenging to complete. Imagine sitting down to a 3,000 piece puzzle and you don't have the picture to follow, right? You need to make sure that you're very clear on what this can be for you and what you want it to be for you, because I have now seen what it has done for so many people as a coach in a big, big way. It doesn't happen in a year or two. It takes like 3 or 4 or 5. I can't give you passion. You have to find that for yourself. You have to decide that this is something worthy of your passion and your time, and you have to dig in it every single day and look for it every single day and then share it with others. And I can't give you belief. I can only tell you what I know, which is that this works if you stick with it and if you follow the systems and if you work on work on your puzzle every day, that it will come true. But those are the things that I think are really important that you need to understand and that you need to be clear on. So in closing, I know there were a couple people who said time was an issue for them. And I just felt like it was an important thing that I needed to address, because if you're coming into this not as a discount coach, not as a hobby coach, but as a coach who actually wants to see this become something. And to be clear, I think you can grow this business slow, but a hobby coach is someone who just sometimes does things. Like, it's not really a priority. You can grow this as slow or fast as you want, but if you want to grow it, then you need to truly make this a priority in your life. And so if time is your issue, then you need to get rid of another priority. Like, you need to pull it up the scale. Obviously, your family is not going to be that priority, but you need to look at what else do I have in my life. Maybe you don't watch any TV, but if you do, that's what needs to go. Like, maybe you need to knock out a half an hour of sleep. But if you really want to make this work, this is about doing a little bit above and beyond, right? It's about pushing outside of your comfort zone and saying, I am committed to this, so I'm going to do more for the next little while to make my dream come true. And so if time is your issue, I think that's a really important thing to understand, that this is not something that can necessarily happen here and there. It needs to be something that you make a priority and that you commit to in your life, because people can smell like flakiness, right? And nobody really wants to go and share such an emotional thing for them, which is like weight loss and fitness and how they feel in their body, with someone who is flaky and someone who is not consistent. They want to share that with someone who they think is going to be there to help them when they have a tough time. So just don't forget that. I know, because I believe in what this opportunity can be for others, but you need to believe that, and then you need to decide that that is what you want, and then you need to give up some other things to make it a priority if you really want this to happen. And remember what an awesome thing this is. Like, this is a fun and cool and amazing thing that we're doing here, and being a part of it is incredible, and it's only going to grow. I know that I'm in this forever. So I know that this is just going to keep getting better and better. And if you want to be a part of that, then you should take that and run also. But yes, I've given up sleep, and lots of people do. Okay. I am going to just go through the questions, but if you have questions on that, or you want me to repeat anything, because I know I tried to be as clear as I could on those calls to action, unmute now. Feel free to unmute and ask. So I just got 2 no's. Yeah. Yes, I totally agree, Erica. When I feel sorry for myself, Gary Vee is the bomb. Elaine, I gave her a flat out no. I don't even remember. But yeah, look, you joined my group and you're a coach, and you're a good coach.
Sorry, Bria, can you just give me the breakdown of what the form was again? Family.
Form. Yeah, family, occupation. So you ask people about their family. You want to understand that about them, right? These are their priorities: occupation, recreation, so what they do for fun, and then message. And the message actually, I believe, is your piece, right? But they may have a message that you want to understand, but the message is your piece. So you need to understand these first 3 before you share a message.
Bria, can I just ask, because when you were talking about Michelle, it made me think I've probably messaged, it's been a year, almost a year for me. I've probably messaged like thousands of people.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know I can't follow a system, like whatever. I'm just doing it in a book. But so you mentioned Michelle, like, do you have a schedule by which you reach out to these people from 3 years ago? Or like, I know you went through your streak, or did she come to you after a while, right?
Yeah, actually, she joined someone else. I should say this. She joined someone else's challenge group. And then I was like, well, good for you. That's lovely. I hope it goes great. But then when she found out about, she was interested about coaching, then she came to me. Okay. And I think, but I've had so many people come to me when they're finally ready. And I guess my system is, I have a list just like you do. And as much as I am still working on making Streak or finding a CRM that flies for me, sometimes I just really love pen and paper, and I will go back to my initial like pen and paper ways, and I'll review the people that I haven't talked to, and I'll go there and I'll just re-message them again.
Because like, say like the people I messaged in January, like I don't remember who they are. They're in my book somewhere, but like, do you actually go back to those people? Like, do you have a schedule like that or not really?
Oh, I re-invite everyone every month. Wow. Unless they're like, I'm pregnant, or, there's something very clearly that they said in the response that is more than just not right now. I just re-invite people every single month until they either die, block me on Facebook, or
okay. And how many people block you? I think I've had 4.
I don't know. I mean, usually one
that hurts a little when
it hurts a little, yeah. But then but you know what? I've had people block me and then unblock me. I think they're just, you remember Jodi's story about her. I think she had a story that she shared. I mean, people they're just not ready to hear it. And that's okay, as long as you're not being like obnoxious to them and you're just trying to be supportive. I try not to, I just be too busy. I have too many people to invite to notice when someone blocks me. That's kind of the way I roll.
Bria, can you just clarify for everybody, when you re-invite, are you mass emailing people or you're literally individually messaging?
I'm individually messaging
1,000 people.
Yeah, I individually message.
And can I just say, like, I know everyone, even all the top coaches, everyone talks about getting an email address, but I work in the corporate world. No one looks at email. And Gary Vee says that too. Nobody looks at email. You're going to look at your messenger before email. Right?
That's how I feel, but I don't know. This is a piece of this land that I don't know yet. I do believe it's important. I use, like, when you hear people talk about their email list, I use because when I run free groups, I require people to sign up as a free customer. So I use my Beachbody customer database as my email list. I try to send out value once or twice a month. And then I sometimes will mass email through that to let people know about my upcoming groups or launches and things like that. But I don't know. I'm hoping to know one day for you. Sorry, I'm aspiring.
Maria, when you bulk email, do you break it into small numbers? Or do you say you never use the bulk email? Is that what you're saying?
No, okay.
Sorry. No, I think I just did too many. And then I was talking to Jeff and he said, when you email too many at once, there's all kinds of firewalls or things that recognize that as spam. And most of my messages didn't go through. So I think I should have done smaller groups.
That's a great tip. I do have a tendency to, when you go into the advanced customer search, you can actually separate them out by source. So I will separate out the people whose source were my site, meaning like I drew these customers in personally, from like Success Club leads and customer leads. Okay. And I will message them separately, because what I say to the people that I brought in is going to be a bit different than what I say. So that might help a little. Plus, you can only bulk message up to 500 at a time. So you will hit a point where you have to do that anyway.
Okay. Thanks.
No problem. Any other questions as I go through this?
I just have a little question.
Yeah, let's hear it.
As most people know, I'm kind of crazy busy right now. So I'm building a house, for anyone that doesn't know. Like physically with my own hands. It's insane. Anyway, so I want to move things in priority. I want this to be a bigger priority, but like family, it's just not there. It's just not up there. So suggestions? Like, how do you make it okay when there's 5 spare minutes in a day?
Well, I mean, you're on this call, so I feel like you are making it a priority.
Trying.
I think, yeah. And I mean, but I would say I love that you're on this call, but if you haven't done your power hour today, you should have done that. That's the kind of thing that I would look at, like what has to, you know, how can I fit things in and what has to go.
I don't do a power hour. I don't have time. I literally don't have time. I don't have a single hour in the day. And
okay, you don't do, but you do it. You do the.
I do it. I will block it on like a weekend and take like 5 hours and do it. But I don't have time for that either. There's no power hour going on at my house. I'll do my workout and I'll have my shake, but that's later, and I'll message people, but that's like 5 minutes here and there.
Yes, but that's the
and
same
I think
thing.
I think that's
okay.
normal. I think that's normal. I think a lot of people don't have time to block an hour.
Right. No, you don't necessarily have a solid hour. Some do. Like if you're a stay-at-home mom and you've got only nap time and that's all you've got, then you probably do it all then at that time. Like, or in the early, like I will do a lot of mine first thing in the morning at like 5:30 after my workout. But so, I mean, you can squeeze it in here and there. Like there isn't a perfect way to do it. Just prioritize the list of your no matter what's, and then just do your best to get through those every day. And I think we talked about the idea of that pendulum swinging. Like this is just a time in your life where a little less has to go to your business and a little more has to go over here. So when you have some more time, you'll want to give it to your business. That's all.
And the power pockets, you just use like
pockets. That's a good term for them.
If you're only doing like the, you know, power of 3s in your power pockets.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But, you know, like, so sometimes I don't like to message people at like 5 in the morning, but sometimes I'm sitting at my computer at 5 in the morning. So I'll organize some other things or plan out my posts. And then when it's like 8 a.m. or at a reasonable time to message people, I'll get my invites out. But
I agree with that. I thought about getting up at 5 a.m. and doing messaging, but I think that would be weird to get a message at 5 a.m. I don't want to
send all my messages then.
You do.
Totally. You know why? Because I can get through them. You know what the hardest part is when you're messaging people is when they message you back. And then it gets out of my flow. If I just,
you have to ignore them when they message you back. That was what I learned.
Happily ignore them. You go back to the queue. That's what happens. But I mean,
I just want to point out that Elaine just said that she sneaks into the ladies' room to get her messages out.
Way to go, Elaine.
I love it, Elaine. Love it.
That is awesome. But I mean, you got to, again, like I understand that we all have things in life, and there's times, you know, where things that you have to honor in your main priorities, which are going to be family first, right? That's always going to be number one. But I think my point is when you can do more. And then in the meantime, do what you can and let the rest go. I still haven't even read through these messages. Sorry. Rewind. Can you say those? Did you get the questions, Sabrina? Okay. Jamie, I just got 2 no's. I love that. That's awesome. Let's see. I don't think I've missed any questions. Rachel, I find that Facebook messages get stuck in people's other folder. That's if you're not friends.
Mm-hmm. Even if I am friends, like if I think that like if we are like just become friends, we're brand new friends, and I message you, then it goes in the unknown folder. And I found that happened a lot with like a post that I boosted for challenge group, and so I would like send them a message and then they would never see it. Yeah. So I have to go back to the post and comment on it and say like, I sent you a message. If you don't see it, check the folder.
But, you know what? I think you're right. I think that's new. Like that's a newer phenomenon in the last month or two. Thank you, Facebook.
So even if you're friends with them, it will still go to your message requests.
If you just friend them and then send them a message, they don't get it.
Oh.
Like it goes in their other folder, and you can't even get to your other folder from your phone usually.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
How?
You can go into Messenger and then go into people, And there's a thing that says message request.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah, because I don't access Facebook on my phone because I'll get in trouble from work. It's like I'm not working.
I'll look for that.
All on the phone.
I had a question for you, Bria, if you have a second.
Yeah.
So, like, I am adding a couple of new people to my network every day. Mm-hmm. And because I play roller derby, right, there's a lot of people that play roller derby that we have mutual friends. So it's really easy for me to add people, and they just add me back because they're like, oh, this person skates also. Mm-hmm. And so I have zero actual connection with them at all. Like, they may live all the way across the country. And so sometimes I struggle with hitting those cold invites when I know nothing about this person. And I'm kind of running out of like the same people are liking my posts who are either in my groups or, like at my grandfather. And so I'm trying to really work into my cold market, and I'm struggling with reaching out to people because I feel like they can, they're like, oh, you just added me and now you're messaging me about this. Like, I feel like it seems a little shady, and I want it to seem more natural, and I'm not sure how to open the conversation without being like, I know that I added you 3 days ago, and it's weird to like message them and just be like, hi, thanks for accepting my friend request. Like, I had somebody yesterday go, I'm sorry, how do I know you? And I was like, you don't know me.
So they didn't like anything on your page or anything? Like, you're just...
No, but we have like 60 mutual friends. You know what I mean? So like, when I have that many mutual friends with people, I'm like, we're friends. We have to be friends.
Yeah.
Like, we have to have something in common. Plus, we both skate. So I feel like I should be able to use kind of like, oh, hey, you play roller derby, so do I. But then when I go in to invite them to a group or something like that, they're like, oh, this is why you added me. And
right.
Then I'm like, yeah, I'm that guy.
Yeah, I'm that guy. I'm sure there'll be some, I don't know if anyone else has anything they want to share, but I would just say for me, I don't do a lot of like inviting that way because I keep it through my page. But I would say, and what I have said, because I do sometimes go through that, is I try to be really upfront, like, hey, I thank them for accepting my friend request. I try to do it right away, right? So it's not like I just sent this and, I don't know. I just try to be upfront and say, like, I love connecting with other, so you might say derby players. I'm like other moms is what I usually say, who like are trying to live a fit and healthy and positive life. Like, what do you do? And I just try to change it. And the idea is, again, to form them, right? To get into a conversation so that you don't even ever have to take it there, but so that when they do eventually get an invite from you, maybe, or like see something, a call to action, then it's a little bit warmer for them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
On my Facebook page, like on my like page, whenever anyone likes it, I always send them a message that like, thanks for connecting or whatever. Like, and I get a lot of positive responses back from it. People are like, I love your page, or you're so motivating, or I love your recipes, or whatever.
Yeah.
And that always opens it up to me.
Right.
But I feel like that add 2 to 3 people to your network every day. After doing it for a year, you're adding people that you don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
For
so
sure.
it's easier. I think that I'm answering my own question here, but once I add them, then I invite them to like my page. And once they like my page, I send them a message through there instead of adding them and then sending them.
What I've been doing with that, because I have the same thing, Rachel. All of the people like that I'm adding, I do the same thing. They're friends of friends, and I have no idea who they are. I know nothing about them. So I was doing what Bria was saying. Send thanks for the friend request, whatever. I see you have whatever, like make small talk about their life, but no one was responding. So I stopped doing that. And now what I'm doing is just letting them be my friend, and I'm posting 3 or 4 times a day. And usually at night, I'm posting something funny about my dogs, my kids. And I'm finding some of those people are commenting or liking my posts. And that's how they're kind of getting to know me. And I even had a friend who doesn't know Jody, who said, oh, I feel like I know her. I'm like, yeah, you do, because she's posting every single day. And so they become your friends. Even if you don't think you know them, they know you.
That's a really valuable point. I think
and
you're
when
right.
you put it out, and when you put out that you're doing a free group or something, those people, I think they respond.
Yeah.
I've given that response.
Yeah, I like that. And but I always feel like if I'm going to put a friend request out, I just think it's weird. Like, I think it's super weird when people friend request me and then I accept and then they never write me anything. Because I'm like, okay, why did you want to be friends? You know, like I clearly don't know you. So I think it's okay to make it like you would if you were at like a roller derby conference, you know, a roller derby bout. That's and thank you. And you're just meeting someone, you know, like, hey, like, it's nice to meet you is a totally, I think, okay thing to say, and just leave it in a nice way. You can be like, we have piles of friends together. I love connecting with other derby players. Like, rock on, sister, you know, and leave it at that. Like,
awesome.
I like to close the gap a little bit that way.
Great. Thank you.
No problem. I'm glad that was a nice little group combo there. Okay. I'm getting lost in these messages. Sorry. It looks like everyone's kind of got their answers. Did anyone have a question that isn't answered in this? Okay, good. Well, then we'll wrap up. It's 20 after 9, but I'm so glad. I hope that this was helpful for you guys. And I always love seeing you guys hop on. It really makes this for me. So thank you for being there. Get rooted in that passion, and let's boldly go where no woman has gone before. Let's make a big difference, because I really think sometimes it just comes down to us getting over ourselves and being our best selves, and then telling others that they should join us, because frankly, it's just a cool place to be. Okay, thanks guys. I'm going to end recording, and have a great, great evening. Bye.